I thought I could bring my parents back together, until I learned the truth. My parents divorced because of my mom's affair, although I never fully believed that. They always seemed way too in love to cheat on each other. Even after they split 3 years ago, my mom still came around pretty often to drop stuff off or have coffee with my dad. They joked around and acted friendly enough to confuse anyone who saw them together. To me, it felt like they still had unfinished business. A few weeks ago, my dad asked me to check something on his laptop while he was fixing dinner. He left his phone synced to his computer, so texts popped up on his screen constantly. Usually I ignored them, but one caught my eye from my mom. "Can't wait to see you soon. It'll be just like old times." My heart leapt into my throat. That message was more than friendly. It sounded exactly like the way they used to talk before everything went wrong. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I got obsessed with the idea that maybe they secretly missed each other. Maybe they were finally realizing they made a huge mistake. I was 16, and I'd missed having a real family more than anything. I decided I was going to help them get back together, whether they realized it or not. Their first date had been right here in this house. Spaghetti dinner, candlelight, Sinatra records spinning on the old stereo. I figured I could recreate it perfectly. My dad lived in our original family home, and my mom still had keys. I told her I needed help with a school project, and begged my dad to keep the evening free, because I wanted a father-son dinner. Neither of them suspected anything. In the days leading up to it, I got more confident. I felt sure they'd fall right back into old habits once they saw what I'd done. But while cleaning out the dining room to set things up, I found something weird tucked away behind the photo albums on the bookshelf. It was a stack of papers from a real estate company. Offers, emails, agreements about selling our house. My stomach sank instantly. My dad had never mentioned moving. I felt panicked and confused. I searched more thoroughly when he wasn't home and found even worse things. There were applications for boarding schools hidden in his desk drawer. One in Massachusetts near my mom, another in Florida, where it seemed like my dad planned to move. They'd written notes to each other about how to break it to him gently, and once everything was set, I realized with a sickening feeling they'd been secretly planning this for months. I couldn't believe it. I dug deeper into my dad's computer. There I found emails about new relationships both of my parents had, serious ones, people I'd never even heard of. They planned to each buy apartments and move in with their new partners right after selling our home and shipping me off to school. My chest ached with betrayal and embarrassment at my stupid dinner plan. I wanted to cancel everything at first, but instead decided they deserved to know I'd found out. I printed every email, every application, and every text. When they both arrived, they looked stunned to see the candles and hear Sinatra playing softly. My mom smiled nervously. My dad frowned. "What's this?" he asked suspiciously. "Oh, it's nothing," I replied, telling them to sit down. And right as they did, I sat with them too. And wasting no time, I pushed the stack of papers towards them. My hands were shaking so badly, I had to keep them under the table. Neither of them said anything at first, but my mom looked sick, and my dad's jaw tightened. Quietly, I said, "I know what you've been planning behind my back." They tried to stay calm at first, saying this was all for my benefit, and that I'd understand when I was older. That's when I dropped my final card. I already called Grandma. She still owns part of this house and said she'll never let you sell it. That was a bluff, but I had to play it. The room went completely silent, and then my dad exploded. He shouted at me, calling me selfish and manipulative. My mom jumped in, tears in her eyes, saying that I was the reason they divorced, that having me had ruined their marriage. I stared at her, too shocked to speak, but then it got worse. They kept going, their words getting nastier. They said I was an accident, that neither of them ever wanted kids, and I destroyed their marriage from day one. I tried to argue back, but my voice broke, and the room spun around me. Their words cut deep, tearing apart everything I'd ever believed about my family. I couldn't take any more. My throat tightened. I stood up, knocking the chair over behind me, and ran upstairs. My dad yelled after me that Grandma wouldn't stop anything, that they'd make sure the house was sold no matter what. I slammed my bedroom door shut, and collapsed on my bed, sobbing harder than I ever had before. The full story where OP fights to keep the home is on my channel and linked below.